So if we were to go to PVS, it was actually a very simple process. So we're going to, we wanted to create a new collection, which new collection meaning it was going to, through the PVS server, it was going to go to our hypervisor, create the whatever amount of VMs we wanted to make, and then assign it a template to say, okay, I want these servers set up using this template style, and I want you to use this type of VDIS, which is the image. And I'll show you the process right now. So you go to sites.
Okay. You're basically, what you're going to ultimately end up with, if the process goes properly, is a bunch of virtual machines on the hypervisor on vSphere that's connected to the appropriate vDisk.
Correct, and it will also create a machine catalog within the DDC, and then at which point we would have to manually go there and decide who gets access when we create a delivery group after, yeah. So it does actually interacts with all three interfaces. So the PVS will say, okay, build this in hypervisor, and then go to the DDC, make the machine catalog, and then we'll go there and then make the delivery groups and say, okay, these are people who should have access to it. So it would actually do everything. So that's only, and honestly, we don't do that process too much because it's not often you have to change your, your infrastructure, how it's laid out. But for example, like if they're saying that, hey, we're like, which we're doing right now, we're moving a bunch of fat client machines from using an actual install, the application being installed locally on a machine, to using Citrix. So we might have a new load of more users coming on, obviously, from all the fat client users. So if that number increases drastically, we need to, expand the hardware so we can make sure that the users aren't getting any, quality loss. So if you have to do it really fast, because out of the blue to say, hey, it was fine last week, but this week all of a sudden we're noticing slowness, we could run here, go to sites, right click on it. Then we go to Zen Desktop Setup Wizard. Then next, and then we select the DDC that we're going to be using, which is, 01. So everyone you want. And then we go to next. And then you got to select the host resources.
So that's the vCenter that you're choosing?
Correct. Yep. Well, the first one was the DDC, and then this is now the vCenter we're selling it to use.
Okay.
And right now, I was just looking for the template.
Okay.
Okay. There's only one template we have that does this. And, you select your version. That's all default stuff. And then you tell it what disk you want to use on the PVS to make these machines from.
Okay. So the template before, is it actually like Windows Server 2012 or something like this? And then this is...
Yep, it's actually here. I'll show you that template too. That is on the hypervisor. That is, I want to say hypervisor, on the vSphere.
Yeah.
Put it right here. So we made a template, and it's this one right here. Technically, the rest of these templates could work, but we have to have a blank. These are already made to literally right-click, expand right here, and do it. That would be the manual way. So literally, this has the two partitions that the PVS would have made for us. But if you're doing the tool creation, the actual creation, we actually have to have it with a blank OS. So the hard drive this one. A hard drive actually has to be blank, meaning it just has to be a unformatted disk, and it doesn't have, and you can't have the second partition there as well, because all these other.
Of a virtual machine. You create a new virtual machine, and you just say, next, boom, done. And it's just
that's all it's doing. Exactly. That's it. So and that's all we're doing here. And actually,
through vCenter though, when you create that, you're assigning it the memory, the size of the disk, the CPU, etc.
Because it's on that template, exactly. So on that template, we already told it what to be prior. So that's what we're saying. Use this template, and it will make it like whatever, the 40 gigs or 60 gigs, whatever is allocated.
Right.
You can also in here you can also change the cache write amount. So you will also could set here what is allowed when the users log in.
Okay.
When the users
so
log
here,
in.
Then you're saying use this this image and build out that and attach this image to that template essentially.
Yep. So yeah, when we go hit next, doesn't matter. Next. And this is where you do. So you're seeing right here, number of virtual machines to create. So I could say make, 100 virtual machines if I wanted to. And it will go into vSphere with that image and says, okay, I'm going to make these 100 VMs. It will also make a collection group here as well. in the device collections, and then it'll make 100 VMs and assign them all into this group. And I could also set then the amount of cores right here, how much RAM to actually put on the actual so we can edit the template as well here too. And then you want to change the right amount of how much the user gets to see. And then the default is the Pixie boot, which we don't have Pixie set up for our environment at Citrix to boot the images off. So we have to do the BDM, which is pretty much it makes the boot disk that makes a separate partition. I think it's like 8 gig partition it makes. And that tells it to connect to which provisioning server to grab which image.
Gotcha.
So and this is where it failed. It fails right here.
So if you hit next, it will actually So if you hit next, that's where it fails. That's where it fails
right here. That's where it's giving us that error. And
Okay, and if you hit next right now, what actually happens if I go into vCenter? I'm going to see.
You will see it live happening. Yep. So if you hit next now right here in vCenter, you'll start seeing, creating so-and-so from, the service account. You'll see service account creating you'll literally start seeing them filling up. And whatever folder we put in default, I think it starts filling up in template or whatever. You have to change whatever location. But you'll see in template, you'll see them start loading a bunch of actual, all the VMs start being created here. And they'll be powered, I believe they're actually powered, they're powered on, and they start booting up the disk immediately.
Okay, gotcha.
So they're ready to go and they power on. And then in the DDC side, you will see then the machine catalog gets created right here. You'll see a new machine catalog get created, and it'll start adding the machines to the catalog. And then that's the whole process, and that's it.